This is the year where less talk and more action. This is the year of no more pretending to be in the kingdom, but demonstrating the kingdom. So here's what I want you to focus on tonight. Write this down: how to become an influence. I am speaking from authority tonight. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So listen to me, young people. How do you become an influence? We want to focus tonight on understanding the secret to influencing your world. I have thousands of photographs taken of me, and sometimes people look at those photographs and they don't even know who I am. Photographs with prime ministers and presidents and kings and queens of countries and multi-millionaires and billionaires and blacks and whites and Asians and Chinese and Jews, and people don't know that I was born in a little house. My father had 11 children. Most of them are in this room tonight. And we were born in a very humble area called Bangetown. And we knew what it was to struggle and not have much, but we had a great heritage in God. My parents taught us to trust God and have faith in God. I thank Daddy again for that. You and Mom did a great job instilling faith in us. And I will never forget, my father is my #1 hero and my spiritual mentor. I was born and we used to sleep in the back room. They call it the back room. And the back room is where the boys slept. It was called the back room because, you know, you had to find a spot on the floor. And we slept on mattress on the floor, sometimes, you know, a sheet to keep the mosquitoes from us. And they gave us the best they could. I never thought the day would come that I would be advising governments and speaking on the telephone to presidents of countries who call me. How do you become an influence? How do you rise from the floor? And sometimes people think, oh, you're a special person, that's why. That's not true. I believe there is what I call a divine imperative. Write it down. Here it is. Every human being was created by God to be an influence on earth. Every human being. Most of them die and never influence their neighborhood. Second imperative, influence simply means to dominate in life. Anyone who has influence is simply a person who is dominating an environment that they are in. They have this force that comes with their life that make people listen to them, or make people respect them, or make people believe them. All of us are influenced by somebody. In other words, those persons have dominion. Write this down. Whoever dominates an area of life will have influence on planet Earth. If you look at all the influential people, I'm not talking about just the famous, because some of them ain't influential, they're just famous. Don't confuse fame with influence. Fame is like a flame, it goes out. Influence is what lasts even after you're dead. Myles Munroe has no influence anymore. This is not influence, that's fame. Influence means that your life has so much dominion that even death can't destroy it. Like Martin Luther King. There's a difference between Anna Nicole and Martin Luther King. Ain't no streets named after Anna Nicole. Listen to me, please. Write the statement down, please. You were placed in time to influence your generation. That's why God took you out of eternity and put you in a body, because he wanted earth to be influenced by you. And we confuse influence with popularity. As a matter of fact, the word popular is from the root word population, which means that the population likes you for a while, and then they'll crucify you later. Influential people are not necessarily popular. They are impactful. Jesus Christ was not popular, but we can't get rid of it. He was influential. I put it to you then that we have to learn what is influence. Here is a statement made by Jesus Christ concerning you and me who are in the kingdom concerning influence. He said these words in Matthew 13 verse 33. He told them another parable, it says, and here's the parable. He says the kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman put in a large amount of dough, and it worked its way into the dough until all of the lump was full of yeast. This statement is about influence. God sent you to earth to be an influence, just like yeast influences dough. You were not born just to exist. You were born to make a difference and born to make an impact. And I am convinced that God has had it up to here with people just treading water. God is saying, I want you to be an impact, an influence in the earth. Write this down, please. God lives in eternity, and eternity is time without measure. And therefore, we were placed in time for a purpose, to fulfill purpose. And that purpose is to give meaning to our lives. We were sent here to make an impact, to make a difference. And you don't need to live long to influence the planet. Think about the oldest man that ever lived. His name is Methuselah. The Bible says one verse about him. It says Methuselah lived to be 930 years and then he died. 969 years rather, and then he died. That's all we know about the guy. Jesus lived to be 33 and a half years old and then he died. We can't remember Methuselah, but we can't forget Jesus. Age, therefore, is not a measure of impact. I put it to you then, that God gave us time so we can live life in what I call phases. God gave you a year at a time, a month at a time, a week at a time, and a day at a time, so you can live life in doses. I love the way the psalmist David said. David says, this is the day, not the month, the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice in it, the day. What have you done with your last 10 days that have moved you forward in your purpose? How have you spent your time the last 24 hours? And how did that contribute to your progress of your passion and your dream? Purpose is placed in phases because you were never given birth to attach yourself to a phase. Let me tell you something. I thank God for years, because you can now look back and say, someone died 10 years ago. Or I had a failure in this area 5 years ago. Thank God for years. Years pushes things back. Years delivers you from the memory and the pain of things. Thank God for time. Please don't be attached to phases. Write this down, please. Never let a phase define you. You know, right now you're single. You ain't married. Well, that's only a phase. Don't get attached to that. And when you get married, you got to shift from that phase. Now you can't go with the friends anymore you used to go to anytime you feel like no more. And now you can't fast for a week because now you got to cook for your spouse or eat with your spouse. You see, the phase, you gotta be able to be free from phases. Write this down. Each phase prepares you for the succeeding phase. I put it to you that you must enjoy your phase but never become your phase. Some of you got a good job now. Let me tell you something. You ain't know what's gonna happen to that company. So don't get attached to your job nor your title.